over.
That riding around in the whip.
Summertime is over.
We care about that.
It's the winter.
Yeah, it's no season.
Party next door vibe. Summer's over.
Party next door. Now that is something I need to drop.
There we go.
I need a party next door drop.
We need more
badly.
party music, and I don't know if it's coming, but he's got Resentment. And I guess that was his last release.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah,
That was fire.
fire.
Okay.
Speaking of, the Weeknd's getting cryptic.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah, what's he doing?
He's like saying things and tweeting things about his last album, and then he said something like there are no coincidences, which are making fans like really read into everything. He's wearing the mask.
Because it's the third one, right? It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a trilogy, and that hasn't came out yet.
And he says it's the last album he'll ever drop as The Weeknd.
Mm.
Moving forward, he'll be either just able test of.
Test pay. I'm excited. I'm excited for more. I guess I'm kind of excited for more Weeknd. I'm excited about the Weeknd until I think about it a little too much, and I haven't loved his features and shit recently.
Yeah.
Right. And also, like, what was the last Weeknd project that really stood out? I mean, he got beat out by Gunna on his last project.
Okay,
It was After Hours was the last moment that he had. Don
Yeah.
FM didn't do what it was supposed to do.
And this is a bigger conversation that I actually want to have right now, child, because like, what makes an album flop? Because I think we touched on Tizo at the end of last episode, 8K. I don't think to the casual listener, is that a good release or is that bad release, average? Is that what you expected from him? Like, I feel like we need to provide context.
Are you talking about the units sold?
Yes, units sold.
I mean, I think that's obviously a flop with all the hype that was going into it.
Yeah.
I think if there wasn't mad promotion, he didn't have Drake saying this was the best body of work he's heard, and it wasn't like hype to the moon, I'm not mad at 8K for a debut, really unique artist. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't expect that record to move like crazy, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting too because hip hop and like I guess part of R&B has become such a it's always been a competitive sport, right? But like the fans are now starting to really tap into these numbers, and that's affecting sales, or it's affecting like what people feel about an album.
Exactly.
Which is weird. It doesn't happen in any other genre. Country is not like that.
Exactly.
They don't be tearing people down based on how much they sold first week because it doesn't matter.
Because I think Tizo did exactly. It's easy to talk about him just because it's most recent. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. 8 to 10 off a debut, like you said, really unique artist is super good. And then on top of that, he got the Drake post and was with everyone who he needed to be. So it sold what it needed to sold and had a cultural impact.
Yeah.
To me, that's a successful release. But then when you make everything about numbers, like how the fans are, you see 8K for Tizo after you saw like 15 or 20 last week from some random rapper, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, he must have flopped.
Right.
You know, but it's like they're playing two different games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two different points in their career. I feel like that's something that people can't really put together a lot of the time.
I mean, I feel like if you're not in the music business and these numbers don't affect your livelihood, you should stay away from them.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
it
agree.
provides the casual listener any benefit to know what is selling well.
Who started that? Who started album sale thing? I guess it kind of started with like 50 Kanye when they did their little beef shit, like who sold more. That was the first time I feel like it got like publicized.
Maybe, but the rap blogs have really like aggregate. What's the word? They just made that shit worse.
Academic fat ass ran with that. That nigga, that's his favorite post to put up every week, bro.
Seriously.
You rocking with Academics?
I personally think Academics is funny, but I can also acknowledge how he's detrimental to like the culture.
No, I think he's detrimental to the culture. I do feel like it's funny to see him come up from like the YouTube stuff to now he's doing like, you know, obviously he got the blog, but he's doing real interviews with real rappers. Like people that used to bash him are going on his platform for like rollouts and shit.
And like you see like even Vic Mensa and him just like re-linked up again and like had a conversation.
I actually didn't see that, and that's interesting.
Exactly.
Vic Mensa doing that is crazy.
Because they had beef. Because like they had beef, and Vic Mensa had called him out for what he was doing in Chicago.
Right.
And then I think they just recently spoke and like kind of got over it, and so that was cool to see. I like, to be honest with you, like I do like Ack, just because I think he's funny and represents a lot of where like social media and like the consumption of this shit is going. But I think he did need a career pivot. Like a lot of the shit that brought him fame early on was pretty bad.
Yeah.
pretty negative. He's just a fat nigga who likes to get drunk on web streams. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just can't think too deep about these niggas, bro. They don't really matter.
Is he much different from us?
You know, like I
Whoa.
about the Henny.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Joe Budden.
saying we fat?
All that. Yeah. That at least we're not out of shape.
Miles, I agree with what you said though about the Tizo successful thing, because I was watching his Rap Radar podcast last night, and he was like, Elliot asked him like, how are you feeling about the album now that it's out? Like, congratulations. And he said, I feel incredible. I stay offline when I drop an album. You know, I don't read into any of that. I just listen to what people are telling me to my face, and the reception has been very good. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's what's important. As an artist, you need to surround yourself with people that aren't going to bullshit you. And then you need to only really respect these opinions that are coming to you from people that you trust. Yeah. And that you know are going to, you know what I mean? Like, an artist doesn't have any business getting on Twitter and getting in the replies and seeing what these anonymous ass Twitter accounts think about your album. Yeah. In my opinion, you know?
Exactly. That's why I fuck with Nicki Minaj, bro.
Why?
Because instead of getting on Twitter, instead of getting online, she go to the stew and bring the goons with her. You know what I mean? You seen that? You seen the video of Nicki?
I did see
like that. 40 deep for no reason.
I did see
on
that.
Queen Radio. Is that her thing?